Welcome to the season 7 of the novel The Edible Woman by Margaret Atwood. In this session, I'm going to analyze two chapters, chapter 11 and chapter 12, that ends the part 1 of the novel. Chapter 11 Analysis. Peter left Marian's apartment early as he needed to get more sleep. He also advised Marian to sleep for some time, but Marian was not tired at all, so she did not go to sleep. After a long time, Marian had nothing to do on a Sunday afternoon. Therefore, she finished her dishes, sorted the knives, forks, and spoons. She scanned the magazines for the seventh time on that day. She was thinking about being in love, her marriage, and honeymoon tensions and other things. The telephone rang, but it was a wrong number. She wanted to talk with Ainsley about her problems, but she decided not to do so as it would help her no, it would not help her. Finally, she resolved to spend the evening in the laundromat. For Marian, Sunday evening is the best time to go to laundromat than any of the rest of the weekend. At that time, there would be fewer elderly gentlemen and women at the laundry. The nearest laundromat is a subway stop. She prefers Sundays because they are free on these days. She was looking forward to the laundromat trip. She was anxious to go out on Sunday evening, but she made up her mind. She ate frozen dinner and changed her dress to laundromat dress. As she was putting the clothes in the laundry bag, Ainsley comes and asks her whether she was going to the laundry. For that, Marian finally says that she had chopped Peter into pieces and going to dispose his body. She thinks that someone might object her for working on Lord's Day. She recalls an incident in the past. An elderly woman accused her of breaking the fourth commandment because of the impious way she dressed in order to do it. Then, as usual, she looks at one of the posters above the windows while going on the bus, a colorful one of young women in three pairs of legs skipping about in her girdle. She wonders how can that advertisement may make women purchase the product because the female body attracts men and not women, and usually men do not purchase girdles. Then she thinks that the purchaser may think that they were getting their own youth and slenderness in the package. She goes to the laundromat, but then she realizes that she has forgotten the soap to use in the machine. The man who was standing and stuffing the clothes into the machine offers her the soap to use. She says, she says thanks to him and realizes that this man was the young man from Beer interview. He did not recognize first, then says she is the interview woman. She throws the clothes into the machine while young man watching her clothes. Then she goes and sits on the chair the management had provided them. She thinks she would have gone to movie, but she did not have enough money. She has even forgotten to bring paper back to read. The young man was sitting next to her. The young man likes to watch the machines as other people watch television. It is nothing because it is soothing because one always knows what to expect and one does not have to think about it. If it does feel boring watching the same stuff, you can put in a pair of green socks or something colorful like that as people change the channels. He comes here outside quite a lot as he feels boring in the apartment. He was not looking at Marian when speaking to her. When she leaned forward, she could see his face. His skin looked unearthly in the blue tinged fluorescent lighting in the laundromat. He then explains her what his friends are doing in their apartment. Fisher barricades himself and does not move even while writing. After writing, he tears all he has written and sits there staring at the pieces of paper on the floor. Once he tried to put all the pieces together with scotch tape, but failed, of course. He created a scene accusing them of trying to use his ideas to publish first. and stealing some of his pieces. Trevor, when he is not away at summer school or eating apartment up cooking 12-course dinners, he would just eat salmon, practice his 15th century calligraphy, scroll work, and flourishes. The thing is that they repeat themselves doing the same thing and never get anywhere. They never seem to finish anything. He tells upon asked by Marian that they are all graduate majoring in English literature. The people encourage the brilliant students to do graduation and also give them some money. In the beginning it is okay, but as it goes it becomes tougher and tougher with welters of commas, shredded footnotes, and after sometimes it looks something else. One of those ninth-year graduate students, poor bastards, scabbing through manuscripts for the new material or slaving away at the definitive edition of Ruskin's dinner imitations and theatre stubs are trying to squeeze the last pimple of significance out of some fraudulent literary nonentity they dig up somewhere. Poor old Fisher is writing his thesis now. He wanted to do it on womb symbols in D.H. Lawrence, but all told him that that had been already done. So now he got something impossible which does not lead him anywhere. He becomes silent. Marian asks him what was it to jolt him out of silence. He does not know because Fisher does not talk about it to anyone. He tears papers as he himself could not understand it. Marian then asks him what was he doing himself. He says he has not reached that stage. He is writing an overdue paper from the year before. On some fine days, he writes a sentence, that's it. He was writing his term paper on pre-Raphaelite pornography and also trying to do something on Beardsley. She tells him that he is wrong in that business and he will be successful somewhere else. But he says he has come so far that he cannot go back. He has to depend on his friend. That's why they live in such wretched place. He never feels something is happening around him. Last week he set fire to their apartment just to know what would they do, but it was put out immediately. Perhaps they think that he is sick and it is possible that tensions are putting him to do such things. They also think that he might be mad. Marian observes him and sees that he is very weak with bones coming out. Thinking about it later, Marian was surprised at her own detachment. The restlessness of the afternoon had vanished. She was calm, serene as a stone moon, in control of the whole white space of the laundromat. She thought that she would have reached out effortlessly and put her arm around that awkward body and consoled it, rocked it gently. Then they walked together to the door. He did not open the door, so Marian opens it herself. When they were outside the laundromat, they stood facing each other for a minute. They both started to say something but stopped. Then they dropped their laundry bags to the sidewalk and took a step forward and began to kiss each other. His mouth tasted cigarette. Then they stopped kissing at the same time, stepped back. They looked at each other for a minute. They picked their laundry bags, slung them over their shoulders, and marched away in the opposite directions. The whole incident was like a jerky attractions and repulsions of those plastic dogs with magnets on the bottom she remembered getting as prizes at birthday parties. Chapter 12 Analysis. Friday seemed a long time ago for Marian, as so much happened since then. She thinks that her actions were more sensible than she thought them to be. It was subconscious getting over conscious mind self, and the subconscious has its own logic. The decision she has taken was a little sudden, but now she has time to think about it. She feels actually it was a good step to take. From school and college days, she has thought that one day she will eventually get married to someone and have more kids. She was not silly like Ainsley in the matter of marriage. She never expected that it would happen this soon, but she is happy that it happened. Marian thinks her marriage with Peter is not going to be like that of Clara and Joe because they too are not practical enough. Those who are not practical do not have the sense to well manage a well organized marriage. She thinks Peter is an ideal choice when she comes to think of it. He is attractive, he bound to be successful, and also he is neat. One has to consider it as one has to be living with someone. She decides not to talk about her engagement in her office as of now. She wants to continue her job for some time. After marriage, they live in an apartment for a few years, then they will have real permanent house. Marian still cannot quite fit in the man at the laundromat or account of her behavior. She thinks it may be a lapse, blank in the ego, like amnesia. She thinks it would not happen again as he has not taken her office address. She even does not know his name. After finishing cleanup, she thinks she would write a letter to her home. They will be pleased to hear about her engagement as they waited for it for a long time. They will want her and Peter to come down for the weekend as they have not seen Peter. She thinks she must get organized as she has a lot to do. Thank you for watching the video.